Yeah, welcome to the DOJO, baby. Have no fear, TyKwonDoe is here, man. Listen, it's about to get deep. It's about to get serious. They just banned Andrew Tate. And as a thinker, as an overthinker, as an overanalyzer, as a big picture thinker, I see all the uproar behind this. I see both sides. I see people saying you shouldn't do it, you know what I'm saying? That's censorship. And then I see people saying finally and celebrating that he's been banned. But I don't see anybody thinking about the bigger picture or really expanding their thought when it comes to this situation. So I wanted to provide my thoughts on Andrew Tate getting banned and really go in depth. As you see, just got this whiteboard behind me because I'm going to really get into it today. Y'all about to see why, I tend to lean towards scholarly things when it comes to this internet stuff. I don't really the entertainment side is just a hobby to me, but the education, the making people think, that's where my real interests lie, and we're gonna get into it today, right? So when it comes to Andrew Tate, right, ultimately he is like the whiplash effect of all that's been going on in society, and another version of the whiplash effect is the extreme side of feminism. The, pronouns in your bio, the, putting LGBTQ ally in your bio. That is a whiplash effect from all of the discrimination, all of the, disrespect to, anyone of homosexuality, pansexuality, transsexuality, etc. And as far as it goes with women and women empowerment, the whiplash of feminism has turned into spiting men, and it has turned into going against men. And now when you have an Andrew Tate coming into the picture, it's like a whiplash to that. It's like since there has been attack on masculinity, since there has been, a super empowerment of women, well, we're going to go this way. We're going to say, I want men to be men, and I want this to happen, and blah, 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 blah. That's besides the point, right? The point I'm about to make is, I'm about to go into the levels of looking at this Andrew Tate situation and then showing how as a society, whether we attack feminism or whether we attack Andrew Tate, it benefits neither of us. And we're really losing sight of the bigger picture, the holistic thinking, which encompasses the success of us as a people, us as the human race. Now, there are a bunch of sub-levels amongst that, right? But ultimately, it even shows up with the whole dynamic that's going on right now. Right? Even whether it's politics or whether it's men and women. But we're going to focus on men and women because this is where this problem mainly lies. And this is where the problem starts and can be expanded into a bigger picture. So first and foremost, right? A lot of conversation nowadays will go like this. Who's the prize? And then people say the man. Who's the prize? And then people will say the woman. But the answer is neither. And we have lost sight of what the actual prize is, which is the children which that man and that woman would produce. And if you're not a man and a woman in a relationship, you don't have no goal of making children. The point is the society you impact and how you impact, which will take control after you're long dead and gone, after I'm long dead and gone, after you as a viewer is long dead and gone. It's not the prize of the man and the woman because it's about the children which will uphold our society later down the line and in the future. As a goal, as a society, and as a generation, is that each generation improves slightly better than the last one. And it seems as though current times right now, it's going backwards more than ever. Overall, it's moving forward, but it's getting so ugly and so rough that it's becoming detrimental to both sides. So time to get into this diagram and show you, why this makes sense of what's going on back here. So when it comes to Andrew Tate, right, you have level one, which is the reaction you might have had when you first seen him. This might have been through a viral TikTok video. This might have been through Instagram Reels, YouTube, somebody reposting him, somebody talking about him being on someone's stream, etc. And based on this reaction is where people are starting to form their opinions and perceptions of him. Okay, let's look into him. What has he done in the past? What has he been involved in? What does he do? And based on how they think and their, filter for thought, is where they form this opinion and perception. And then it can get even worse where you've never even sat there and watched him, or this comes to any opinion of anything. You never actually sat there and experienced it, you've taken someone else's thought and standpoint on it and allowed them to think for you, whether good or bad. For example, it could go both ways. It could be, I'm a streamer, right? And I put Tate on my platform, and then I go, well, I'm Team Andrew Tate. Well, now most of my audience, or the people that think like me, are going to just take on that good opinion I have of him. Vice versa. I'm putting him on my stream, I'm like, well, this is weird. And then all my community and all the people behind me say, well, this is weird and we don't like him, right? I didn't want to spend too much time on this level 1 because this is very low level thinking. This is very emotional thinking. It's hard to see the bigger picture when you're just thinking of a reaction and you're not seeing the bigger picture. So let's just go above that. But I mentioned this part because it sets the foundation for why Andrew Tate got banned and censored, and looking at the bigger picture. So it was worth mentioning. Then you have level 2, right? You have level 2. This is the impact of Andrew Tate. So level 1 was the reaction to Andrew Tate. Level 2 is the impact of. And this level right here is what got him banned. This level right here is where you either were a super fan D-rider of Andrew Tate, or you were one of those people like, yeah, he deserved to get banned, get him out of here, he deserved to be censored, like, to take that shit down. And on this level, the impact, right? This is where I've seen and read posts of where a lot of the people's frustration with Tate is. And we'll get into why. Now, encompassing the whole thing, right, goes into my thoughts and what I've seen from Andrew Tate himself. His impact is good for men in the sense that, like I mentioned in the beginning, the whiplash of femininity and masculinity and the extremes and polarities of both trying to balance each other out, is because in society nowadays there's a lot of, we always talk about cancel culture, safe spaces, and offending other people. And as a society, this isn't good for anyone. Because if I have to bite my tongue, if I have to be careful with my words as to not offend you, I'm directly making you a weaker human being. Because I can at the same time be welcoming and accepting of you, but also encourage truth, but also encourage authenticity. And this is where my respect for Tate comes from. Whether you think he's a monster or whether you think he's a saint, the bottom line is I trust a wolf more than I trust a snake or a fox. And I've studied all these things. I've studied psychopaths, sociopaths, good wholesome leaders and all types of things, different religions and all of the above. And what I've seen is the true threat in all of this is those truly cunning people. It's not the Tates. It's not the guy who's going to say the bold thing and then you go, wait, what the fuck? It's the people who realize in our society nowadays you're getting banned or limited on what you think, or you can choose to side with what's in and then take the safe side and then wiggle your way through society like a slithering snake or a cunning fox. And what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is if I put they, them pronouns in my bio, LGBTQ ally or BLM in my bio, it's like you assume I'm of good morals. It's like you assume I'm a good person because I support these causes. And to expand on that, a lot of these companies, and this is why I'm going to get into the bigger picture, but I'm already peeking into it now. I'm talking fast. I'm a fast thinker, so please keep up. Watch it twice if you have to. A lot of these companies get y'all like this. A lot of these politicians beat y'all like this because they make you focus on the impact. They make you focus on how you feel when you think about them, when you're reacting to them, and make you get stuck on the impact of this person. So what they do is they say, oh, I support this company. I support this cause. I'm a good company. I'm a good person. And that does not make you a good person. That a truly intelligent, conniving fox will side with these, with what's in and what's popular as to avoid getting canceled, as to benefit their business, and as to manipulate the herd of people and the crowd of people who are not thinkers and who cannot see the bigger picture. And if you are not a thinker, you're going to get triggered and react. You're going to get triggered and say, take that down or let's lift this up. Meanwhile, you may be a good person. You may have the interest of all people in your heart. You may be saying like, well, I don't care that a man is masculine, but as a woman, I don't think it's right that there's a gender, pay wage gap. I don't think it's right that, women have been disempowered and, all that and discriminated against. For example, and I want to express the bigger picture when I even mention these problems and how they impact one side of the other. It does not benefit a man to have a woman without power and a woman who is weak. And it does not benefit a woman to have a man which has had his masculinity taken away and is a safe man. You see what I'm saying? And why is that? Because ultimately, even if you're not a man and a woman in the dynamics of a relationship, relationships are not about equality. A man and a woman, or two people, it shouldn't be about equality when it comes to joining together. It's not about equality. It's about compatibility. Why? Because in the long run, think of it like this. If I'm the head of the household, I don't need another head. I need a body. I need a backbone. I need arms, legs, feet. And if you're the woman, you're the head of the household, you don't need another head. You need a man who's going to be the backbone, the body, the legs, the arms. And then in fact, when you see the body itself and not just the head and fighting for the power of the head, and you understand the excuse my voice, and you understand the collaboration of two people to create a family, a functioning family, then you realize it's not about the man being the prize or the woman being the prize. It's the family. It's the impact on the children. It's the dynamic and atmosphere we're creating for the success of our family, or what works for us. And that's why in different dynamics, I encourage what works for you. Whether you're the head of the household, she's this, or whether she's that, you're this. Now, I may be traditional at heart, where I believe, I'm going to take on most of the load. And then if my woman is bearing children or, taking care of the family, I want to lift that load off her, because being a mom is a full-time job in itself. But that's just me. And I know that it costs $10 million to live nowadays. So that can't work for everybody. So you do what you can. But we have lost sight of what actually works by looking towards equality. And it's not about that. It's about compatibility. And in compatibility and collaboration, there is a respect for role playing. There is a respect for saying, you know what, you're not bringing in the money, but that doesn't make you any less important than me. Or I'm not bringing in the money, but that doesn't make you any less important than me because I'm doing this. We're playing teamwork. We're being compatible. We're doing what we need for each other in order for our family to, in order for our relationship to be healthy, in order for our family to thrive. And on the level of impact, going back into the Andrew Tate thing, a lot of people get caught here because they see, okay, well, yes, he's motivating young men, he's inspiring in them, and he's, it's like this whiplash of call for masculinity. And a lot of men have been told to not compete and be, weaker men and chill. That's not directly, right? But that's been a whiplash of this whole feminist movement and the, upper pumping of women. And like, it's become like a power imbalance or a fight for the head of the household. I said it to say, when you go into this level 2 part where people are triggered by Tate and they don't like his impact, it is because of a lot of his extreme thoughts and women. If I've even said this in myself, I'll get specific. So there are different ways to go into that one, right? For example, when you see him talk about talking to younger women who are impressionable, women who will allow him to lead them and be more submissive easier because he's older, he's more financially powerful, he has more political power and more connections. So he dominates her in so many categories, and she's so young that she's impressionable, so she's going to let him lead. And that works for him, right? Whether we get into the details of, is that shit predatory? Whoa, what's going on here? Is that weird? The point is that a lot of men are seeing him preach those ideologies, and they don't even have a pot to piss in. They're like, again, if I go too deep into that one though, it'll just get off the topic of going back to the bigger picture. So when we get out of the impact, right, we get out of the impact of saying, well, on one end, he's good for men in this way, but on another end, he's bad for men in that way. And then, what's going on? Ultimately, for our society, right, and this is why him being banned is ultimately a bad thing, why it's wrong. In our society, you ban Andrew Tate for how he thinks. Excuse my camera, I've been having these issues. So listen, when it comes to our society, right, a person like Tate, what role do they play? Why are they valuable? Why are they important? And why is it bad to ban them, right? Now, as a thinker, I need you to see this. And if you're not a thinker, pay attention. take heed to what I said earlier about the snakes, the cunning foxes, the sociopaths, the psychopaths, the companies who will leverage, the polarity of the environment, make a strategic move, and err on the side of safe, and then profit, and then benefit themselves, and they have the selfish intent overall. When you see a person like Tate, who if you try to ban him or get rid of his platform for how he thinks, why the fuck is these alarms going off? Hold on. Let me make sure none of these are on for this. So we're back. When you have a person like Tate, who speaks on things, listen, it's all different forms of this. You got the crazy wild conspiracy theorists, you got the super extreme side of feminism, you got the super extreme side of the masculine voice. All of these are essential to society because we must create an environment which appreciates all. And what do I mean by that? In any ecosystem and just the world and how it works, in the same universe that you have a black hole, you have a supernova. One consumes and one, creates. Then you go into how even on our planet, right? I'm making a bigger picture here, so please follow me. Even on our planet, you got predators, then you got prey, then you got decomposers, then you got, the whatever in the environment. When you take someone like Tate, who says all these wild things, who motivates men, who expresses these ideas that you don't like about women or you do like, and then it gives you power and it takes away this power. Ultimately, in our society, when we create an environment which we are banning people for how they think and what they think, what we're saying is, you don't deserve a voice. And then it's like, okay, you don't deserve a voice. Why? And who gets to establish that? What gives them the power to establish who or does not have a voice? Now, you can make the argument that Facebook or Instagram with these social media platforms, but clearly they're hypocritical in multiple different ways because they do not put the same banning and same muting that they have on other organizations and other people and other voices. For example, I just imagine in life how the Black Panther Party was attacked, but the KKK was never was never attacked and never disorganized the same way with the same intent and aggression that was targeted at the Black Panther Party. If you've never heard of the Black Panther Party, you probably need to do your history in America. But that's besides the point. The point being that what we're seeing is that in society, there is a side which has the power, but it does not have the best interests of men, women, kids, or any of that involved. It has the best interests of power, exercising dominance, exercising your right and your wrong. When in society, it's not about right and wrong, it's about real. It's about real. Because right is about which side you're on. Wrong is about which side you're on. But what we should be able to appreciate out of each other is authenticity. Hey, I disagree with you. Why? Because of X, Y, and Z. Well, I disagree with you because of A, B, C. But when we come to the same table and put all our fucking disagreements together and say, I dislike that, ultimately, if we collaborate, we're getting more holistic in reaching our common goals. And it is my observation and my expertise that is not what's going on in our society. We shut people up who we don't like to hear. We're pushing one narrative. We're pushing towards polarity. We're pushing towards extremes, and it's going to keep happening. It's going to just keep whiplashing back and forth. It's going to be an Andrew Tate, then it's going to be a emphasis in feminism. Then it's going to be an emphasis in rich versus poor. Then it's going to be an emphasis in political party versus political party, and there's no balance. Because why? I can make this video longer. I can make this video deeper. But as you see, I have alarms, so I'm short on time, so I have something to get to after this. But think about this level and think about how actually getting rid of someone with a voice, especially who's speaking their truth, is bad for our truth. And then even when you come up with that reason why it's bad, then you realize getting rid of them is not the answer. Why? Because it's a way of thinking. He wasn't born thinking like that. Someone taught him how to think like that. For example, the children he's teaching to think like that. So the thoughts will always be there. The ideologies will always be there. What we have to say is, if it's a problem to it, well, let's put it against what we think is right, and then see what comes out holistic. Let's see what's best for both sides. And it's not best for both sides to take away one platform and then give another one a stronger platform. It just is again another imbalance in power. One side's going to resent the other, and then there's going to be another whiplash of nah, fuck that. Because I didn't even go into the whole idea of bots and the left wants for the right, and socioeconomic status, classism, we all different types of topics to be mentioned in this. That is so deep that this video is so simple. But I hope that this video made you think and got to see this whole Andrew Tate getting banned thing from a bigger picture. And all the people that dislike him, they're not really seeing the bigger impact of this. They're not really seeing, or the people that do love him and don't see why people don't like him. If you just have your head shoved so far up his fucking ass, and you can't see some of the absurd things that he said, but you want to just jump to defend it, because of course there's cognitive dissonance involved in any time you favor someone. But you don't want to see, how you can condemn him and collaborate him at the same time in a society. You're not thinking big. You're not thinking holistic. You're not thinking of us against, of us for our future generation. So that I'm gonna close this video out. That's TyKwonDoe. Dojo to the moon to Saturn, and we leave in the solar system. The limits don't even know we exist. Baby.